Hi everyone. In this lecture, I'm going to briefly discuss about limit test for arsenic. Limit test for arsenic is one of the heavy metal limit test which is done to identify the presence of arsenic impurities in pharmaceutical substances or pharmaceutical products. And this limit test for arsenic is done with a special kind of apparatus, unlike the other limit test which is performed using Nessler cylinders. In this case, we are going to use a special apparatus called Gutzeit apparatus. This Gutzeit apparatus will look like a glass bottom, that is round bottom flask, and this flask is having a rubber cork, and in between the rubber cork there is a portion for fitting a hollow tube which has some nozzle in it, and just above the hollow tube we will be having some proportion to keep the mercury chloride paper, and this is the setup for Gutzeit apparatus. And the limit test for arsenic is having a principle that works like the formation of colored stain on our indicator paper. And the procedure involved is described as the arsenic uh, that goes by the molecular formula AS is present in two forms, that is pentavalent form as well as trivalent form, AS5 plus and AS3 plus. So for reaction to begin, all these pentavalent forms has to be reduced to its trivalent form. That is, all the AS5 plus has to be reduced to AS3 plus. And this happens in the presence of stannous chloride and potassium iodide. Now all the arsenates, that is AS5 plus, has been reduced to AS3 plus, that is arsenide. These arsenides now again will react with stannous chloride in presence of reducing agents such as zinc, hydrochloric acid, potassium iodide, and then stannous chloride. And in presence of these reducing agents, it will be reduced to arsine gas, that is ASH3. The product that is formed is a gas. So this gas is formed because of formation of nascent hydrogen that is produced as a result of reaction between zinc and hydrochloric acid. This nascent hydrogen is nothing but the hydrogen that is freshly produced on the reaction site itself. This nascent hydrogen react with the arsenide to form arsine gas. Now this arsine gas that is produced, now this entire reaction is happening inside our flask. And the flask, like I said, the flask have a hollow tube inside it, and this hollow tube is connected to a rubber cork, and in that rubber cork we are going to place some lead acetate cotton wools to prevent the escape of any gases like hydrogen sulfide or arsine gas. Now there is only one possibility: the arsine gas has to pass through this hollow tube, and through this hollow tube it will reach the portion where we have kept our mercury chloride paper. This mercury chloride paper will now react with arsine gas to produce a compound called mercuric arsenate. This mercuric arsenate will give yellow stain to the paper. So, like in the previous limit test, we are saying we are going to do the procedure for test solution as well as standard solution. We are going to take two Gutzeit apparatus. One is to be labeled as test and another is to be labeled as standard. And inside the flask, we are going to pour our sample for test solution and standard for test standard solution. And then we are going to add our reducing agents inside our flask, and we are going to keep it aside for nearly 40 minutes because that much amount it will take for the formation of arsine gas. And the arsine gas now will go on react with our mercury chloride paper to induce some yellow stain. So in the end of our procedure, we are going to compare our test with our standard solution, and we are going to analyze whether the stain produced in the mercury chloride paper is less intense than the standard solution or more intense than the standard solution. So by doing this, we can easily say that whether it passes the test or fails the test. So as I said, limit test for arsenic is one of the heavy metal limit test. And when compared to all other limit tests, we are going to use a special apparatus called Gutzeit apparatus. And we should remember, like a limit test for iron, the arsenic calls for arsenic also, it has to be reduced into its more reactive form, that is arsenite form, As3 plus. So then only the reaction will takes place and the reaction will continue. Thank you.